Hello and welcome to Thrash Talk, brought to you by Freaktoyz Collectibles. My name's Thrash, but you can call me Audrey because we're friends. And we're here with the 1,414-day GLCW heavyweight champion, 924-day OFE Strong Style champion, and the 294-day NLW North Star champion, Backwoods Brown.
What's going on, brother? How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm so glad to be able to have you in here.
I appreciate being
You're my
here.
first guest. So that's great. We had a very nice interview with a bit of a snafu a couple months ago. It was just audio related. It wasn't like he wanted to kick me in the face or
No,
anything.
not at all, man. I can't do it for free.
You can't do it for free.
No.
It'll take a lot to take a bump.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to harken back all the way to the year 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Backwoods Brown, how long have you been training before AAW Vanguard put you in that battle royal? And what was Backwoods Brown's journey to becoming a professional wrestler at that time?
So my journey into pro wrestling, it was always something that I wanted to do. I fell in love with the sport of pro wrestling at such a young age, and I was never one of those kids that grew out of it as I got older. It was as I got older, my love and obsession for this great industry just grew. You know, I became a tape trader. Any free moment I had, I was always watching wrestling and, you know, trying to learn as much about it as I possibly could. So there was a local company that had been around for years and, you know, had TV in Chicago called Windy City Pro Wrestling. I ended up starting my journey there, and then some of the guys from Windy City decided to leave and open up their own promotion and training school, which was actually Vanguard Pro Wrestling, or Vanguard, what was it, VWAA, so it's Vanguard Wrestling All-Star Association or something like that. I don't remember.
Long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. A lot of CTE since then. So I went and followed those guys, and I was training for about 4 or 5 months before I got thrown into that first battle royal.
And when they threw you in there, were you thrown out instantly, or was it an in and out situation?
I thought it was going to be an in and out situation. I was one of those guys that kind of took to the training really quickly. So the trainers and the vets could see that, especially Marche Rocket actually, you know, gave me a chance to get some offense in, and then, you know, eventually I got dumped over the top. But when, you know, we got back to the locker room, himself and some of the other guys were like, we didn't want to throw you out right away because, number one, of how big you were, and we could see like the passion in your eyes, and everything you were doing, we all felt safe taking. So that was like the first kind of pat on the back, like, okay, maybe I might be on to something.
Love to hear that. And we're gonna continue in your old career here with this next question.
So old.
Your first title win was in Northern Lights Wrestling, may them rest in peace, where you held the NLW North Star Championship for, as I said earlier, 294 days.
Yeah. So it's funny. Even before Northern Lights was started, I had won they called it like I can't remember. It was a medal at Vanguard.
Okay.
I ended up leaving Vanguard for a while, and then I went back, and then I won, you know, their medal deal, and then I just, you know, I was trying to reestablish myself and rebuild my name. I started working a couple other places, and I ended up meeting one of my best friends, not only in wrestling but just in life, EJ Jensen, who started Northern Lights because he was looking for a place in his hometown, because he's in a small town in Illinois where there's about 500 people, and there's never really anything going on. He's like, you know, I'm going to start running shows here. And he's like, would you want to be the booker? And I was like, well, absolutely, man. Like, I would love a chance to, you know, dig my teeth in the booking, because that was always one of the aspects of pro wrestling that I was always interested in as well. And, you know, Northern Lights was a really special place because the whole time I was there, it was always a place where I wanted guys to have a chance and opportunity to work people that they might not ever get to work, or just go out there and do stuff that they didn't get a chance to do. So, you know, at one point when we were running hot, man, our roster was stacked. You had myself, Marche Rocket, Melanie Cruz, Rough Crossing, Yabo, Mojo McQueen. At certain points we had Joe Alonzo down there. We had Kylie Ray down there. We had Missa Kate. We had Bryce Benjamin and Acid Jazz, the N-words. It was a lot of friends that I had made over the years, and they were all for coming in and doing some business, and it was fun and special.
So winning that title, did that change the way that you looked at professional wrestling at that time, or was it still just business as normal?
For me, it was business as normal. At the start, it was I was kind of taking it back when Eddie had said he wanted to put the title on me, because I was like, dude, I'm booking. I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to be the booker that books himself in the main events. But it was one of those natural progressions, because for the first 4 years, I was the meanest, nastiest heel there. But then it was one of those slow, gradual, natural turns where the crowd, they just didn't want to boo me anymore.
Right. They got behind you.
They got behind me. So.
Which I see happen to you quite often even now.
Yeah. So it was fun. I can remember all those main events where, after the match, I'd be out there for another 20, 30 minutes because the crowd would just be feeding me beers. And
they'd be working you.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to disappoint these people. Every single beer they hand me, I'm going to drink. It was some long nights, but it was fun, man. That was a real special time.
Speaking of heel work, man, I absolutely love your heel work. I like you're more of an old school heel in my mind. You do a lot of talking in the ring, which I've always liked. I think that helps make somebody be a lot more imposing. What are your inspirations?
So I'm a huge Stan Hansen guy.
Okay.
Big Van Vader, Dr. Death Steve Williams, but
all the guys that went over to Japan.
Yeah, I'm a Japanese wrestling mark. So, but as far as I approached being a heel, it was I don't need to do a million moves. I can get more out of a punch and running my mouth with the crowd than I can doing a 450.
Right.
So it was I leaned heavy into the character stuff. Now, when it came time to it, and even now, when it comes time to go in there and do the work, I can switch the gear and turn that motor on.
Sure.
But people don't realize how much just all of this right here is so important and valuable in a wrestling ring. Whether it's just facial expressions or just a quick one-liner, just to keep the crowd engaged and everything. Can I do a lot of cool stuff? Yeah. Do I do it as I've gotten older? Absolutely not. There's no need for me to do it.
I was going to pay you more.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. I can get paid more being a character than I can for doing frog splashes or blockbusters off the top rope.
And speaking of that, bring up a subject here. You actually had to step away from the industry for a little bit because you had a back injury.
Yeah.
You've since had a couple matches back.
Yes, sir.
How are you now?
I feel great, man. Since this wasn't my first injury, I didn't have that mindset of, oh man, am I going to be able to come back and still do it? It was more just getting in there and proving that I can do it.
You can still do it.
Yeah, and a couple last month, myself and Joey Avalon for One Fall Entertainment went out there and tore the house down in a barn burner 30-minute main event, and I walked out of that match knowing like, yeah, I'm still that guy.
You still am, yeah.
Yeah, and to get the seal of approval from Joey. I mean, Joey and I have worked so many times, and we've always had really good matches. But for him to say, that was the best version of you I've ever gotten, was it was rewarding, and it was letting me know like I'm still that guy, dude. I'm still that guy.
You're really good at helping me segue into my own questions, because I brought out earlier how you were the OFE Strong Style champion. Well, a lot of people don't know this, but you lost that to James Storm. The GLCW Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, no. I beat James Storm. I beat him.
Okay.
I beat him 1, 2, 3.
You beat
him. All right. He thought he won. My foot was on the rope.
Apologies.
Yeah, my foot was on the rope, so I retained my championship.
With the GLCW Heavyweight Championship,
Yes.
you were defeated by the chairman, Sean Spears.
Yeah.
You've also been in the rings with the likes of Gangrel, Al Snow, Rhino, among so many others. Who's your favorite competitor to work with in ring?
Oh man, that's a great question. And for me, it is a very easy. It's an easy answer. If you want to say, names, if you want to say the names that I've worked, Ken Anderson was fantastic. Rhino and I have wrestled a couple times. Same with Al Snow, and Sean Spears was fantastic. Um, so out of the names I've been in the ring with, those would be my tops. But guys that aren't signed or have never been, under contract, the absolute two best guys, hands down, that I've ever stepped in the ring with, and I will scream it from the mountaintops, are Joey Avalon and Rough Crossing. It is, it makes my job so much easier being in there with people that are so like-minded, like myself, and those are guys that I fully trust 100%, where I can walk in the locker room and not say a word or throw out any ideas, and I fully trust everything that they are throwing out, and it's going to go out there and be great.
Man, I love to hear that. See, I was wondering if that's the route you were going to take. I know a lot of people, they would want to shout out all that big talent, but it's a little more humbling to go for the indie talent. I'm glad that you're putting them over.
Oh, absolutely.
And if any of them ever want to come on here and talk to me,
yeah,
I'm here to talk to you.
You'll learn so much from being in the ring with both of those guys. Just be prepared for when they hit their comebacks, because you're gonna feel it.
So you held that GLCW Heavyweight Championship for a whopping 1,414 days. Last time you were here, you tried to negate the 14 days. I'm not letting that happen. Those 2 weeks matter. It's clear that it's just a matter of time before you get that championship back. So what does being a champion mean to you, and how long is it going to take?
Being a champion, I hold with a lot of pride, because it's a sign of trust that the promoter is instilling with you. It's a sign that they value what you offer to their company and what you do in the ring, and they trust you as being the face of their promotion. So I'm one of those guys that I take being champion as an honor, and I hold that with a lot of pride. Did I ever think my run as GLCW champion would be as long as it was? Absolutely not. I mean, I was the first indie guy that they ever trusted, Dave Hero ever trusted to hold his championship. Everybody else had always been somebody that had been under contract or on TV. So
that's big, dude.
Yeah, being the first guy to have that honor, and for it to last as long as it did, it was special. I do miss my big gold baby. I am not gonna lie. Daddy feels kind of empty without her. And Drew Hernandez is the current GLCW heavyweight champion, and since I've made my return from injury, I've been just biding my time and waiting. But the time is up, and the time is now. So Saturday, May 31st at Crusher Fest, I finally have the opportunity to regain what should be mine, that will always be mine, and that I love and hold very dear. So May 31st, Drew Hernandez, Daddy's home, and Daddy wants what's his.
Now, speaking about GLCW, we brought up OFE, we brought up NLW, we brought up AAW Vanguard, or VAAW. Is there any specific promotion that you've not been able to wrestle at yet that you've really wanted to? Is there anything that you have your eyes set on?
There's always new places that I'm always excited for an opportunity to compete at. I won't say there's more, some more than others. I'm always open to any challenge and any opportunity. I've come into this year with a chip on my shoulder. I have something that I want to prove. I truly and honestly want to show the world that, being a big man in wrestling isn't a lost art. It is a lost art for people that don't know how to do it well. I take pride in my craft and my ability, and I tell everybody I'm a walking main event, man. Like, anywhere I go, you can put me anywhere on the card, and whoever's coming after me is going to have to bring their A game to top what I'm going to do. So my schedule is wide open. Any new places and new opportunities that are willing to bring me in, I'm all for. There is one place that I've gone back to, Frontline Pro, that I was one of the pillars there when the company first started, and I have unfinished business. My goal from day one was to win that championship, and never had the opportunity to do it. So being back there now, that's the reason I'm back. I'm back to be champion.
You're about to be Backwoods 2 belts.
I wouldn't be opposed to it, man. Yeah, I've been in that position where the bag can be kind of heavy, but I take it with the badge of honor.
Awesome. Well, last but not least, we're going to kind of bring this to a little bit of a wrap. Since we're brought to you by Freaktoyz.
Love this place.
It's a great place. It's a family-owned and operated toy and collectible store here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. We always want to ask the people that we bring in to interview, do you collect anything?
I collect lots of things, brother. Comic books. As we talked about, I'm a huge Kiss fan, so got a lot of Kiss stuff. Huge Whovian Star Wars junkie. We expressed our love for Tokusatsu.
Yes,
earlier.
Absolutely.
Yeah, dude, I'm a 80s and 90s kid, dude. So anything in that wheelhouse that was real relevant when I was a kid always holds a special spot for me. And anything I can add to the collection, I'm always for it.
Really into Tokusatsu. Was trying to get you on Kaiju Big Battel.
Oh, brother. Oh.
Now that they're back and doing all those events and stuff
Yeah.
again, man, we get you in some Kaiju Big Battel.
Oh, I'd be all for it, man. I'd be all for it.
So what drives you to collect, man? Is there any specific thing? Like, is it just nostalgia for you, or?
It's nostalgia. It's just a love for things that I was passionate about. I'm a big passion-driven person. Anything I do in life, if I'm passionate about it, I give my all to it. And a lot of stuff that I'm into, it all holds special memories because I can correlate it and relate it to specific times in my life or certain memories. So whenever I see that stuff, as you saw when we were walking through the store upstairs, I'm like, oh, this, that, and the other. It always brings back certain memories where I see it and instantly it takes me back to that time in my life.
Just floods you right back to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly the way it is with me with collecting as well. It's always times and places.
Yeah.
It's always feeling. It really helps elevate me. If I've had a bad day, a little bit of retail therapy helps. And what helps even more is if that retail therapy is something that I've had once whenever I was a kid that brought me immense joy. You get it again and it just helps to lift you up.
It does, man.
Some people see it as little tchotchke things, but I think of it as, they say money can't buy happiness, but it can buy an endorphin rush.
It sure
Endorphin
can.
rush can't make you happy.
And I think that is a lie. Like, if I had a lot of money, I would be extremely, extremely happy.
I agree with that. Well, Backwoods Brown, we do want to thank you for coming in and doing this interview with us. We'll go ahead and we're going to break down. We will get you in front of the green screen. We're going to get you to go ahead and get a promo for us, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely, brother.
All right. So until then, we'll go ahead and give you a handshake here.
My man. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Let's get you set up.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is yours truly, the shot caller Backwoods Brown. And I've been invited here by Freaktoyz to speak with the people. And anybody that knows me knows speaking with the people is something that I love to do. There's a message that I want to get out there. You see, 2025, the shot caller has returned to the pro wrestling world, and there's something missing. You see, for the longest time, people told me you could never be the GLCW World Heavyweight Champion, and I always just looked at them. And then when that day came, when that big gold belt was in my possession, I proved them all wrong. Through happenstance and circumstances, I lost that championship. And I've been biding my time. I've been watching. I've been waiting. And they always say good things come to those who wait. Well, come May 31st, I finally get my opportunity to win my baby back. See, Daddy feels real lonely without Big Gold. Daddy feels empty. Daddy feels incomplete. I don't like it. That's a feeling that I have not had in a long time, but now it's time to rectify that. Come May 31st at Crusher Fest, Drew Hernandez, you're the placeholder. You're the guy that, while I was away, took my spot. I don't need you to take my spot anymore. I am back, and I am here to claim what rightfully belongs to me. So Drew Hernandez, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you held it tight. I hope you held it close. You slept with it every night. You shined it. You hugged it. You kissed it. And you cherished it. Because that's about to end. One thing that everybody knows about me, I'm a collector. I collect championships everywhere I go, and it's time for Daddy to take back his prized possession. So GLCW, the shot caller's back, and he's home.